welcome back. I am just going to give you a little bit of a run through of what I'm using for October Daily this year and what I am going to, how I'm planning on documenting, and then I'm going to set up my title page with you in this video as well. Now, I have never done October Daily before, so I am super excited to jump in. Also, I'm not really going to do like an October Daily per se because we don't really do all of the fun, spooky, Halloweeny themed things here in Australia. So this is going to be kind of a collection of stories in October, maybe 4 or 5, and I'm not going to restrict myself to a certain amount or make myself do a certain amount, but I just wanted to kind of get involved in all of the festive fun because everyone on Instagram and on YouTube have really inspired me this year to do it. So I'm really super excited. In terms of what I'm going to be using, I have this Life Crafted album and I've had it in my stash, and I thought this is the perfect time to use it. It's nice and small. I don't feel a lot of pressure surrounding it. And yeah, I'm just this purpley lilac color is also just the kind of one of the colors, main colors that I'm going for in my album this year, so I thought it would be perfect. So I'm using this one. This was actually from a second sale because it had a tiny little line there, but other than that it is completely fine, so I'm really excited about that. Now, a lot of these items are actually from my stash because it is the first time I'm ever doing this project, and I kind of decided a little bit late to do it. So I've got a lot of digitals and I've got a lot of items from my stash. I have bought a few things, and that is this scrapbook.com spooky pattern collection that kind of came in a little card making kit. And I also, which isn't here yet, I am completely blanking, the Doodlebug Designs Scary But Cute or Happy and Cute collection. I don't remember the name, but I'll link it down below. And then that is also on the way, so that I'm hoping is coming next week. I will also likely be using some of the Tracy Reed digitals, and I also bought the Rosie Studio Halloween collection, the digital collection that they brought out last year, so that you'll see in here as well. But I'll just jump in and give you kind of an overview. I'll start with these little sticker sheets. So these are just spooky Halloween themed sticker sheets, witchy, that I just have in my sticker stash, and so I pulled them out to use. I don't know how much I'll actually use them. I'll probably definitely use these labels, but they're kind of more aimed at planner stickers, but I just love these little spooky pumpkins. And yeah, as you can see, my color scheme is very much light orange, pink, and the beautiful purples. So I've got those to play with. From my old Colorcast design stash, I've got a couple of items. I've got, these are all from different releases, by the way. I didn't have time to get anything from the recent release. So I've got this little, what's it called? Acrylic, yeah, acrylic piece that says cute. Still got some of the backing on there. There we go, take that off. And I thought that'll be fun to use because it's purple. I've got this one that says Friends Forever. Oops. Oh no, I broke it. That's okay. Don't do what I do something different, but that's okay. It's easy to stick together. But yeah, I've got this little Friends Forever piece, and I got that out of my stash because it's orange. And I've got this beautiful acrylic, sort of pink embossed or engraved love heart. So they're the 3 acrylic pieces that I've got. And then I've got, I also have this itty bitty little love heart. Then I've got some just wood veneer pieces that will kind of match what I'm doing this year. Now I should say that a lot of the pieces that I still had left over, because I tend to use a lot of my wood veneer from them, but a lot of the pieces that I left over were very autumnal themed or fall themed. We don't call it fall in Australia, so it's, first of all, we don't call it fall, so I wouldn't be able to use it anyway. And second of all, it's spring here. So I've kind of just pulled the ones that I think might make sense, like these spring flowers I think are beautiful, and then sweater weather as well, which I think will be nice to use because it's still a bit chilly here sometimes. And yes, and some, I don't know if you can see, some Ali Edwards little like pumpkin wood veneer pieces as well. So I'm going to use those ones too. Then honestly I'm just using these because they just happen to be on my, where's the other one? They just happen to be on my desk and I thought, hey, that's good enough. But these are from the Tags scrapbooking kit from Ali Edwards from I think last year, I believe. And there's also like a little pack of tags, but I can't find it now, but it's here somewhere. I just opened it. But I just thought I'm going to have these just to add some acetate and some dimensional elements, because a lot of the stuff I bought specifically for Halloween are paper-based, obviously, because a lot of them are printables and digitals. So there we go. I'm going to use that. There's just some scrapbook.com cards that I pulled from like a very old paper pack that I've had. Then this is the spooky collection from scrapbook.com with all of these beautiful papers. It all just came in like a little kit. I know you can actually get this in a 6x8 as well, but I just thought this was perfect, so I'm using this one. And I really like how that looks. I like that the pages are, the front is the pattern paper and then the back is more of the sort of solid or repeated pattern, so I'm really excited to use that. I got this little die set which makes this little ghost and has these 2 sentiments, so I thought that was really cool, and that I think matches up with this. I think it matches up with this Happy Halloween. I'm actually not sure. If it doesn't, I'm still going to use it. So this is 2 stamp sets I got in that same scrapbook.com release, and I am very excited to use this house. And as you can see, I've already started to use them a little bit when I was doing some card making earlier in the month. I also have this is from the 2009 October Stories by the Month kit from Ali Edwards, so I'm going to use that as well. In terms of my embellishments, there are my little taggies. I knew I had them. These are vellum tags and they're itty bitty, so I think they will fit well into this album, and a lot of the colours in here matches my colour scheme. So then I've got some, what do you call these? Printables that I fussy cut out from Rosie Studios, and these match this collection. And so I'm going to be using those throughout. And these are my Rosie Studios papers. And as you can see, I was having a bit of problems with my printer, but eventually I figured it all out. So it's all good now, but that's why some of them have got like this random border on them. So these are the kind of papers that I'm using for that one. I've printed 2 of some of them because I really like them. This orange one I really liked. And the first time I printed it, I didn't set the printing quality to high, and so it's a bit more dull, but I actually really like that it's a bit more dull because I like the contrast. Then I love this paper. This is probably my favorite, this like purple ghosts. And these cute little pumpkins. And let's see, is there another one? Oh yeah, and this stripe. So those are the kind of the papers that I have printed out, and they're the Halloween-y themed papers. And the rest of these papers are all from my stash. Now I hoard paper like crazy, and so I thought this is perfect time to actually use them. So these ones here, this is from the Star scrapbooking kit from Ali Edwards, and these 3 here are from the black and white scrapbooking kit, and I think they're from last year as well. This might also be from the Star kit as well. Then I've got, I don't know where all of these are from, sorry, but I think these are Paige Evans from her collection that she released like, I think autumn in 2021 maybe. But yeah, I like the colours, how they match with my vibe. Then there is also these, what are they called? Lawn Fawn. So they have this pack which I got and I love it, with just like fairly neutral striped watercolor paper, but then also the back like spotty dotties. So I like those because I think they're quite versatile to use. I've got another one in there somewhere, and I just pulled those. This one's from Maggie Holmes. Love a good plaid. Probably not going to use the back of that, but definitely love this plaid. Now this paper is very autumnal. And honestly, I'm probably going to be using some autumn themed items in my album, just because those are the kind of the colors that are going around at the moment, and that's what's inspiring me. So even though it's spring here, I'm probably going to, like you will see, I've got a lot of pinks and prettiness in there, but I also like the really like rich autumnal colors. So I'll have some autumnal themed things, but probably nothing very specific about autumn, like no story about fall. This one is from the These Days collection from Cocoa Vanilla, and I love that it was like a very soft, peachy floral pattern. The reverse is these frames, and I love these too, so I might like use both of these sides. This is just a textured cardstock from Simple Stories, very plain but adds a little bit of texture. And there's the final one of those Lawn Fawn papers. So that is basically what I'm going to be using. I'm going to put you on fast forward now, and I'm going to do my cover page for my album, and I will try and film some of these process videos as well because I like seeing them myself, but obviously I'm not doing it daily, so it's not going to be like an overwhelm of videos. I'm probably going to do like 1 or 2 throughout the month. Anyway, thank you very much. I will see you in just a second. Bye.
Okay, I am going to jump right in, and I'm going to decorate the covers of my little album there. The Ali Edwards albums come with sort of a decorated or textured sometimes color or cover, and I wanted to kind of mimic that, but this stark white was just a bit white for me. So I'm just cutting these papers down to size. This is one of the papers from Lawn Fawn, and I like this one because it's got a lot of little subtle purples and pinks and oranges in it, which is my colors that I want to use. I didn't want to overwhelm the eye by having something too busy. Really, I wanted to almost just fade into the background, but just not be so plain white. So I'm doing the front cover and I'm doing the back cover. And I was umming and ahhing, and then I decided, I decided I'm going to do the spine as well. So I'm going to do that one last. I'm making sure that I am lining up my tape to the very, very edges of this, of the paper, so that it doesn't flap out when I'm going through my album. So once I have finished sticking this one down, I'm going to start doing my title page, and that will be, the main focal point of that title page is a little silhouette cut file that I cut out, and it's from an Etsy shop, which I will link down below, and I love it. You got the main border and then the backing paper on it as well. So I cut the black out of black cardstock, which was so thick and it was such a struggle to get those tiny little bits out. And then I cut the pink out of just cardstock that I blended myself, because I didn't want to use any of my like plain pink papers that I have, because I'm hoarding them. As you do when you are starting a new album like this, you tend to hoard all your favorite bits. So I just took some white cardstock and did some ink blending using Kitsch Flamingo. And yeah, then I set that aside for now, and I'm working on the base of my cover page. So this is from the black and white scrapbooking kit from Ali Edwards, and I'm just cutting that down to the size of the page protector. And now I am a little bit indecisive here about what I want to do next. I knew I wanted some sort of a paper, but I thought all the papers that I pulled were just a bit busy. And so I ultimately go with this, not that particular white one. I do cut one that's a different size, but I do go with a whiter one because I wanted, as you can understand, I wanted the focal point to be that ghost. And if I had all these busy patterns behind it, then it would be just too much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to back my ghost, the entire circle, with that paper I've got in my hand right now. And then I'm going to do some ink blending using purple or a lavender color from Tim Holtz, from a Distress Oxide range. And that's going to bring in my 3 main colors. So I knew I wanted either the purple behind the ghost or the purple or the orange behind the ghost. But yeah, I like how this looks. And I like how the ink blending creates almost a halo around the little ghosty. So when it's done, you'll see what I mean. Like I sort of start from the very edges, and then I very subtly blend in and in and in, and I go over it a few times to really get a smooth blend. And so that purple is really much just in the outside borders, and then there's like a halo around my ghost and around my title. I was going to use that circle piece, but it was too small, and so I just cut one and stuck it down behind my ghost and cut out the little bit of edges that was poking through. And when that's done, I'm going to just stick that... no, I'm not. First, I'm going to stick the purple paper onto the background first. I'm going to distress the sides a little bit. I can't find my paper distresser anywhere, and it's really bugging me, so I'm using my scissors. And I'm just very lightly distressing that. You can barely see it, honestly. And then I'm going to add a little border. I'm going to put that on with just, because it's outside the page protector, I just want to secure it properly. And putting that down, leaving about maybe 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch border on the 3 sides. And then I'm sticking down my ghosty piece with a lot of glue. a lot of glue. And I'm making sure I center that because I want to put my title on the top and the bottom. So you can see that there I've cut out some, like a phrase that says October Stories from the 2021 Halloween stamp set from Ali Edwards, and it's digital. So I cut that out and I like how that looks. But what I want to do is, as I stick it down, you will see I tend to curve it a little bit around my little oval shape there as well. What I like about bringing in so that is cut out of a beautiful glittery champagne cardstock. And what I like about bringing that in is that it brings in an extra texture. The little ghost is, like, that whole element is quite dimensional because there's a lot of layers. So that gives me my dimension. And then the little ghost, then the title gives me a different texture, which when I'm working with predominantly papers or paper products, I always feel like I am missing out on dimension and texture. So that's how I got this in this layout ultimately as well. I also add some glossy Nuvo drops, black ones, right at the end, which adds another different type of texture. But I'm starting off just creating 2 little clusters of these little stars that I just punched out. And I'm going to use my white gel pen just to go in and do a little border around those little stars. One thing I also did, which I did off screen, but you'll see in the final photos, is I went in with my jelly roll, my white jelly roll, and I added some glossiness to the ghost's eyes, some little dimensional bits to the little sprigs of leaves, and on those pink flowers I drew in the center of those flowers as well, which just feels more real to me. I could have actually done a lot more and added a lot more highlights, but I like what I did. I didn't want to go overboard, and so you'll see in the final photos that it just adds like a little something extra. With that, and once I put all these little Nuvo drops on, this layout will be done. And thank you very much for joining me, everyone. I am excited to do some October documenting, and I'm excited to see you again very soon with an October video. Bye.